The way his little Matchbox car moved and fit in front of the car that was like right next to us, I thought he was going to get hit. So I definitely could not just get in there. Well, y'all, I hit the dog. Hello, my good people, and welcome back to Onyi's World. My name is Onyinye. Listen, y'all, I'm sorry about last week. Last week was a little hectic for your girl, and it just was not going to happen. Okay, it was either film and then pass out or not film and live another day, and I chose to live another day. But I hope you guys can forgive. I know y'all can forgive. Y'all are good people like that. But listen, I want to talk to y'all today about something that I was a little hypocritical on. I was praying the other day and I called out some people in prayer, and I was like, Lord, you know, I just can't stand bad drivers. And I just went on and on and on about bad drivers. And then the Holy Spirit, blessed be his wonderful name, reminded me that I was one of them. And I have a story to prove this, you guys. So there was a particular Sunday a few weeks, many weeks, like maybe 500 weeks ago. And I was running late to church. I had gotten everybody dressed, and I was just, get in the car and get to church. So, as things normally pan out, when you are running late, is the fault of everybody else on the road that you can't get to where you're getting on time. Because, if you would have taken the time to get your behind out of bed and get ready on time, things would have panned out a little worse. Not really. But I was running late to church. So I was a little lead foot. And I got on the highway. It takes about an hour and a half to get to church. I was just flying along. Well, right as I hit 20 going east, around, I want to say exit 40 something. This little car that was the size of a matchbox just zooms out in front of me. And y'all, when I get on the highway, I try not to bob and weave a whole lot of lanes. I keep steady in one lane, and it's usually the freest lane so that I can get where I'm getting quickly. But this little car jumps out in front of me, and like any other time in my life, of course I could drive better than him. I wanted to drive both my car and his car because he's in my way. So I'm riding his tail. I'm riding his tail. And I was like, you need to get out of my way. Get out of my way. Well, God made it possible for him to get out of my way, but it was not exactly how I planned it. Because, we were going a pretty fast mile per hour. I'm not going to be that transparent before y'all throw me under the bus. And as I was talking to this person who clearly could not hear me from his vehicle, no matter how loud I was speaking, I was like, get out of my way. And all of a sudden, he jumped out of the way. Well, the problem with that is I could not see why he jumped out of the way. And as soon as he cut out, right as I got ready to celebrate this man getting out of the front of me, somebody's dead Rottweiler was on the road. And you know what? I did not have enough reaction time to brake and cut around. And even if I did, the way his little Matchbox car moved and fit in front of the car that was like right next to us, I thought he was going to get hit. So I definitely could not just get in there. Well, y'all, I hit the dog. I did not kill the dog. The dog was already dead. Okay. That I would still be weeping till today if I would have killed somebody's dog. But I hit that dog, and my car went, it climbed that dog. Oh, I still hear his little bones underneath my hood. Is it the hood? Underneath my car. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? Well, guess what? I remembered where my brake was, y'all. I wasn't telling anybody after that. And because of how hard I hit his car, the front part, I think my front bumper, well, it fell off, but it didn't fall off all the way. So the whole way to church, y'all, I dragged that thing the entire length of 20 East. It was horrible. Well, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to stop because as long as the car is moving, then I should keep going, right? Because, it's when you decide that you're going to pull over and stop and check things out. The moment you turn the car off, all of a sudden something critical was hit and then it won't crank back up. And I just did not have the time to deal with that. I still had to get to church. So I finally made it to church, and there were some people who were late like me. And instead of going into church, I am so grateful that they came over to find out what I was dragging into church. And I came out real sheepishly. I was like, oh God, what happened to the car? Something was leaking. I still don't know what it is till today. I came around, the bumper was like this, you guys. It was leaning completely to the side. It was such a mess. So I was like, oh, my pretty baby. It was such a nice car too. I have since moved on cars like 2 or 3 times since that particular vehicle. But I went into the front, and one of the people who came up, she was looking at it, and she leaned forward and she was like, I don't think it's gonna hook back up. I gave her every bit of that look like, well, what gave it away? It's hanging by a tooth. So I yanked it off and I put it in the trunk. And when I yanked it off, a little piece of it broke in a weird way to where I couldn't make a clean yank. So a little piece of it kept hanging, and I had to get some string and tie it. Y'all, I am #1 mocker of people who have things tied to their car. You know how you drive by a car and you see tape, or you see a garbage bag or something. I'm like, what in the world happened? Well, I am #1 mocker of such people. And I'm not proud of that. I'm just throwing that out there, y'all. Confession is good for the soul. So in that moment, I was quickly reminded that I have now joined the leagues of the people who have things that help to hold their car together while they travel along. Well, y'all, service was good. Service was great that day. And then it was time to go home. When I got home, I had to show my husband what had happened. And he comes out, he looks at it, and he looks up at me like, but why? And I was like, it just happened. It just happened. He's like, were you telling somebody? He has this habit of leaving. He leaves before us, so that's okay. But he was like, were you telling somebody? Do y'all see how sin feeds itself? I'd have lied on top of the fact that I was speeding. I eventually told him the truth. I walked it back in the same day. I didn't wait for hours and hours to go by. And I was like, yeah, I was telling somebody, and that little bucket jumped right clean out of the way, and I hit a Rottweiler. I'm saying it's a Rottweiler. It could have been a bulldog. It could have been a pit. I don't know my dogs very well. I just know it's one of them with the real short ears and the big bodies. Anyway, this situation, the car never got fixed. We took it in. We're not the type of people to fix cars. If something goes with the car, we trade it in, and that's what happened with that particular vehicle. But do you think I learned my lesson, you guys? I'm going to let you ponder that. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so that you can be made aware of every time I upload a video. And then share it with your family and friends. Hey, did it make you laugh? Well, why should you laugh alone? Don't do that. I'm kidding, you guys. Make sure you come along with me as we build this community of laughers, of people who love fun. And until the next time, y'all, be blessed. I'm going to see y'all. Bye.